Good evening. Welcome to another session of Keeping It Live. Keeping It Simple with Prashant Rajare. So, this is a second session with a changed timings. There are lots of good feedback which is coming from people. People are enjoying the sessions. They are getting their questions answered. And I'm just awaiting Dhruv. He will be joining any moment with a new set of questions. So I can see Dhruv has just joined, and yes, his invitation has come to join, and he will be now. So it's nice to have you all here. Hope you're all enjoying the session. Yeah, here is Dhruv. Jai Gurudev. Dhruv, how are you?
Jai Gurudev, I'm good.
I'm very good, very good.
Great, Bhaiya. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, great.
So shall we start, or you would like to have some starting comments?
No, Bhaiya, we can start.
Okay.
I have some questions from last time. Some people messaged.
Okay.
Then,
Okay.
Bhaiya, the first question is depression is defined as lack of interest, but so is dispassion. Rama was perhaps clinically depressed when he met Rishi. But that depression got transformed into how to be dispassionate yet not lose interest in life. What is the difference between dispassion and
No, you just keep on playing your roles. Dispassion will happen automatically in the roles you play. If you want to run away from your roles, you say this is not this, this is not this, then dispassion will not come. And we need to understand dispassion. Usually in life, I would say we are only 50% happy. When we have certain things, we are happy, or when we don't have certain things, we are happy. When we have money, we have friends, we have good relations, we have a job, we are happy. And when we don't have a back pain, when we don't have health issues, when we don't have problems, we are happy. So that is only 50% happiness. But dispassion means what? Being 100% happy. So what do I mean by being 100% happy? When you have money, you are happy. When you don't have money, you are happy. When you don't have problems, you are happy. But when you have problems also, you are happy. That is what dispassion is. So if you start seeing dispassion from that way, it is 100% happiness. So that is what do you say, defining thing about dispassion. If you are dispassionate, then you have to be happy only. You cannot be sad. And if you are sad, then you are not dispassionate. Only dispassion can give you 100% happiness. In fact, Shankaracharya ji said, Adi Shankara ji, he said, Kasya sukham na karoti viraga. What is that happiness which dispassion cannot give you? So dispassion will give you all the joys and much more in life. And that is a sign of a truly dispassionate person. He is happy in every circumstance. So from that perspective, all these questions, all the other definitions, depression, all that falls into perspective.
Okay, Bhaiya. So the next question is, even after getting a glimpse of infinity, why does the mind cling on to the limited identity one?
See, there are so many impressions coming all the time, no? And those impressions overpower the good and the bad impressions of the past. So you have to, that is why constantly keep on connecting to that infinity, and then it becomes so deeply imprinted in your memory, in your consciousness, then you recognize that you are that infinite self again and again. Okay, so that is the nature of mind. Everything does not happen on day one. You don't learn all the tennis in one shot. You have to practice it again and again, and then it becomes your nature. So every tennis champion, he has practiced for hours, for years, and then he becomes good at it. In the same way, only connecting to infinity once is a fleeting uh, impression on the mind, on the memory. So again and again, again and again, we have to put that impression there. Then it becomes like if you want to engrave something on a rock, just scratching on the rock, that impression is not going to last long. But you have to keep on scratching and polishing, scratching and polishing, and then it becomes permanent. So it's the same thing with the mind and memory also. You have to keep on doing it again and again, then it becomes a living reality. Okay.
Have this resistance to studying. It takes a lot to get me, but when I know I feel good, how to get over this initial resistance?
Sorry, Dhruv, I lost you. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, ma'am. Sir, I have this resistance to studying. It takes a lot to get me to start studying or reading, but when I do, I feel good. How to get over this?
So since you're aware of the problem, how the problem is solved? You know that you have resistance to study, and you know that once you start studying, you start enjoying. So then you have to push yourself. Nobody else can give you any tips. No, the only tip is go to the book. Once you go to the book, automatically everything will fall into place, isn't it? You can't say, there is a saying, no, you can take a horse to the well, but you cannot make the horse drink the water. The good thing about you, you are already at the well, and you also know that the water is tasty. But if you don't decide, who else will? Isn't it? Nobody else can decide for you. So you have to say, I have to do it no matter what. Okay, that is the only way.
There's a question about we are not in control of relaxing. That is what Gurudev said. Does that mean that I do not set any norms or rules at work?
No, you set all the norms and rules at workplace. All that is allowed, but at the same time, be relaxed about it. So many times implementing the rules, we become so strict. We make life difficult for us and we make life difficult for others. And then people also start becoming rebellious. Okay, when you have rules, you need to be a little flexible. You need to see what the situation is, give a little leeway here and there. And that is how people will be aligned to you. And over a period of time, if you want to tighten the rules, you tighten, but not in the first shot. Slowly, step by step. As we discussed earlier, that thing needs training. On the first day, you cannot expect perfection from a person who's learning tennis. It will have to happen after years of practice. So, do we have that ability to see different people at different levels? There might be some people who might be requiring support. There might be some people who require no support. So different people require different types of environment to implement rules. So there cannot be one size fit all thing. So that is what, being little flexible, being little relaxed. Okay, once in a while rules are broken, and then don't make life hell for yourself. Don't get angry. You're spoiling only your health and your mind by getting angry, isn't it? So just relax. And if you need to correct a person, do it out of sense of calmness, not out of these are rules you have to follow and all that, and become agitated about it. Help that person, support that person, and make him follow rules. No problem. When you drop that need to be in control, you will recognize there are other ways to help people and make them fall in line. One is you can make them fall in line through control. The other is through love, you can make them fall in line. Through acceptance, through care, through support, you can make them fall in line. So control is not only one way. There can be so many other ways to make things happen. So letting go of control does not mean that you let go of the situation. You have to retrieve the situation. That is what life is all about. Okay. But wanting to have control will only frustrate you and make you restless.